Hey, what's going on everybody? Commander Crane here, and we are back with another Pioneer deck tech. So today, we're going to be talking about Gruul Giants. I'm really excited to bring this list to you. As always, before we hop into the list here, let me know in the comment section below after the video, what do you think about the list? Do you like it? Do you hate it? What would you change? And as always, if there's any suggestions that you have, just let me know in the comment section below, and it will be considered for an upcoming video. All right, so Gruul Giants. I was watching a video the other day of a Grixis Giants list actually in paper, and I was like, man, you could do Gruul Giants with that too. So I'm like, why not? We'll do Gruul. We'll do some Gruul Giants. A little bit of ramping, get into some bigger Giants, turn them sideways, get the game over with. So we're going to hop right into it here. So we're playing 4 Orlando Rebels and 4 Elvish Mystics. Obviously staples of Gruul creature decks, 1/1s for 1 that make mana. Enough said about them. But we are playing 4 Fable of the Mirror Breaker. It's 2 in a red Enchantment Saga. Chapter 1, make a 2/2 red Goblin Shaman creature token with whenever this creature attacks, create a treasure token. Chapter 2, you may discard up to 2 cards. If you do, draw that many cards. Then the third chapter, exile it and return it to the battlefield transformed, and it transforms into Reflection of Kiki-Jiki. It's a 2/2. We can tap 1 and tap it. Create a token that's a copy of another target non-legendary creature you control, except it has haste sacrifice at the beginning of the next end step. So, Reflection of Kiki-Jiki, absolutely fantastic card. Being able to obviously, you get so much value off of the Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Then late game we can start copying some of our giants and just do some really funny things with them. So, Fable of the Mirror Breaker, Reflection of Kiki-Jiki, absolutely busted card. So I guess this is for the future. So for future viewers, hypothetically, if Fable of the Mirror Breaker does end up getting banned, I would say probably just swap them with like some Sylvan Caryatids, I guess, just so you can ramp a little bit more. Just in case it does get banned and we watch this video a couple months from now and it's banned, I just figured I would throw that in there. So, okay. Next slide, we've got some giants that we're going to talk about. We're playing 4 Bone Crusher Giant, probably the most common giant played in Pioneer. So, Stomp, 1 in red, instant. Damage can't be prevented this turn. Stomp deals 2 damage to any target, and it's also an adventure. Then we can play the Bone Crusher Giant. It's a 4/3 for 2 in a red. Whenever it becomes the target of a spell, Bone Crusher Giant deals 2 damage to that spell's controller. Very efficient card. Obviously a shock on the one side, very good creature on the other side. Really can't say enough good things about Bone Crusher Giant. We are also playing its friend Beanstalk Giant from Throne of Eldraine. Fertile Footsteps is 2 in a green sorcery. Search your library for a basic land card and put it on the battlefield, then shuffle. And then we can play the Beanstalk Giant for 6 in a green. It's star. Its power and toughness is equal to the number of lands you control. So, obviously, early game, we're able to ramp ourselves. And late game, we get a nice big giant. Hopefully, it's probably like a 6/6, 7/7 when we cast it. So, just a really great giant to be playing in the deck. We're also playing 4 Squash. It's 4 in a red instant to deal 6 damage to a target creature or planeswalker, but this spell costs 3 less to cast if you control a giant. So, 2 mana, 6 damage to a creature planeswalker. It's a lot of damage. So, I love Squash. Obviously, we definitely want to have a giant when we play this card for sure, obviously, because otherwise we're gonna have to pay 5 mana for it. So, but Squash, fantastic card. So we're gonna hop into our last slide, I believe here. This is all of our cool giants that we're playing in the deck. So we're playing 4 Calamity Bearer, 2 red, 3/4 Giant Berserker. If a giant source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals double that damage to that permanent or player. Obviously a damage doubler. It's crazy. In a way, Calamity Bearer is a 6/4 technically. It's not really a 3/4. Yeah, it just double damage, whatever. Not a big deal or anything. Our opponents don't have to worry about that. We're also playing 4 Tectonic Giant, 3/4 for 2 red, Elemental Giant. When it attacks or becomes the target of a spell an opponent controls, choose 1. Tectonic Giant deals 3 damage to each opponent, or exile the top 2 cards of your library. Choose one of them. Until the end of your next turn, you may play that card. Obviously, just extremely efficient card. It's when it attacks or becomes target of a spell. So if our opponent just immediately kills it, at least we do get some value from the Tectonic Giant. So really, really good card in general to be playing. We were also playing 4 Quakebringer. It's a 5/4 for 3 red, Giant Berserker. Your opponents can't gain life. At the beginning of your upkeep, Quakebringer deals 2 damage to each opponent. This ability triggers only if Quakebringer is on the battlefield or if Quakebringer is in your graveyard and you control a giant. We can also foretell it for 2 red as well. So Quakebringer obviously can deal quite a bit of damage to our opponent. Once again, if it's in the graveyard and we have another giant, we still get that trigger. So even if it's in the graveyard, you know, it's dead, whatever, and we have a Calamity Bear, a Tectonic Giant, a Bone Crusher, whatever in play, we're still getting a lot of value from the Quakebringer. So very, very cool card for sure in the deck. So that is our entire main board. We are going to hop into our lands here. We're playing 4 Stomping Ground, 4 Carplusian Forest, and 2 Rockfall Vales. Pretty staple lands for the most part for the format. We are also playing 4 Crag Crown Pathway. It's the untapped one where we can play it on the red or green side. We're also playing 1 Boseiju and 1 Sekenzan, obviously just for value. You know, it's legendary lands, free, why wouldn't we play them? And on our last slide here, we are also playing 2 Lair of the Hydra. Just a really efficient card overall. Obviously, you know, we can turn it into a big Hydra. You know, we're a big mana deck. We're going to be making a decent amount of mana with this deck. And, you know, late game, why not? We'll just have a Lair of the Hydra. Then, wrapping it up, we're also playing 4 mountains and 2 forests. I decided to play the cool Lorwyn ones just because I know that's where a lot of giants are found, or on Lorwyn. And, you know, I could see a giant, you know, being in that forest, or definitely in this mountain here, for sure. Definitely very flavorful, beautiful artwork for sure. All right, that's our entire main board. We're going to hop into the sideboard here. We are playing 3 Tormod scripts. So I feel like I read this card a lot. I'm just going to say why you bring it in. Obviously, you can see it on screen there, what it does. Tormod script, we bring it in against graveyard decks. That's it. That's all we bring it in against. Damping Sphere, definitely want to bring it against the Mono Green Devotion decks. You can bring it in against Arclight Phoenix. It's also very, very good against the Lotus combo decks, or any combo decks, you know, like the Mox Amber shenanigans, that kind of thing. We're also playing 2 Cindervines, really good against mid-range and control decks, also very good against decks that play a lot of problematic artifacts or enchantments that we need to answer right away. So Cindervines, very underrated card in the format. We're also playing 2 Scavenging Ooze, definitely very good against mid-range decks. You know, like hyper aggro, I'd say it's pretty good if you're trading a lot of creatures and resources. Scavenging Ooze can be very, very good against them. Also, if you maybe need some life gain, again, against hyper aggro. We're also playing 3 Rending Volley. We bring this in against humans and Abzan Greasefang, pretty much. We can bring it against spirits as well. Basically, if our opponent's playing a lot of white or blue creatures, we bring in the Rending Volleys. Absolutely fantastic card. Then we're also playing 2 Cinderclasm. Pretty much the only reason to bring in the Cinderclasms is for like the Boros Convoke deck, you know, since they play a lot of like small dudes, like really, really fast, you know, deal 1 to each of them, take them out. You could also bring it against goblins and elves, probably not humans, I would say. So pretty much just like goblin elves and then like Boros Convoke, I would say, are about the only good things to bring the Cinderclasms in against. But anyways, that is the entire deck. We definitely flew through this one, mostly because there was a ton of 4-ofs in the deck. So it was just 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, lands, sideboard, boom. Anyways, the deck list is in the description below if you'd like to check it out for yourself. Let me know in the comment section below. What do you think about the list? What's your favorite card that was in the list? For me, it's personally Quakebringer, which is probably not a surprise to most people because it was the thumbnail in the video. Just let me know in the comment section below what you think about this list. I'm Commander Crane. I'd like to thank everybody for watching this video here, and I'll catch you in the next one.